Oh hey, Professor Dave here. In this video, we're going to take a look at a post on Reddit. It showed a three-way elbow connection where the poster tried to perform it all in NURBS. Instead, I'm going to show everybody how to do it way easier with sub-Ds so that it's perfectly clean and easy to change. Let's take a look. So here we're looking at the original post, which was on the Rhino Reddit forum. And the poster said, hey, how do I close this up? So there's actually, that's the first stated problem, but there's a second problem I'll get to in a second. First problem being, this is pretty complicated. So we've got all these various blends and patches. We got three different pipes. We've got this guy here. There's one on each of the corners, probably some on the back, and this little triangular face in here. Okay, so that is a challenge, and currently the big problem, number one, is it's not closing. Not a big surprise because it's very complicated. Problem number two is even if we got this to close, how would we ever change it? The answer is you don't. So you'd have to rebuild it from scratch and hope that it closed. So let's go into Rhino, which we already are. And we're going to do the sub-D with two different commands. And you can actually pick and choose. I do have a preference here. I'll save that for the end. The first command we're going to use is the multi-pipe. These are three just straight, simple degree 1 lines. They share an endpoint, but nothing is joined. So I'm going to pick all three of those. We're going to go to the sub-D toolbar and pick the command called multi-pipe. Now I've got all the settings here, and we do get a preview. So the radius is 10, so that's going to be 20 across diameter. The cap is no, that just means this will be open on all three ends. And the struts, that's just how many subdivisions along each length. So it's all set. We can change these if we want to. I'll hit enter, and there you go. So this is really cool because it's so fast. I think this is probably the lesser of the two ways, but let's just kind of enjoy how crazy clean and smooth this is. Now, if you don't know, when you work in sub-Ds, you have two viewing modes. This is the smooth mode, and if you hit tab, that is the box mode, which I want to show you because this is a little bit of an alignment. It does look super smooth, but you can see some of these points, edges, and faces are just pulled a little bit up. I think it's still all symmetrical, which it usually does a great job. But I think we can improve this slightly. So if you want more control, I'm going to call this method the box and extrude. It takes a little bit longer, but I think you have more control. So we're going to start off with a really simple sub-D box. So it's over here on the left side, basically straight box. Now you could have them subdivided any number of faces. We're going to go with the most simple basic 1, 1, 1. That's a face on each of the three directions. I'm going to turn on my grid snap, and I'm going to try to match this to the other side. So there's 20 by 20. And then if I hit enter, it's going to match the other sides. So we've got what looks like a really boring box, but remember, we got two viewing modes. Let's hit tab, and we've just made a sphere. Now here comes the power of sub-Ds. You pretty much start with something really simple like a box or a single face, and then you kind of expand upon it with the series of extrusions and other operations. All right, I'm going to do this kind of a little twist. I'm not going to extrude it out the same each time. I like to have a little more control. Let me show what I mean. Now, when you select one of the faces, anytime you click on anything in Rhino, the whole thing lights up. Sub-Ds allows you to do sub-object selection, so that's a control shift and pick. And if the gumball is on, we get this set up here. I'm going to click on the extrude, that little sphere there, and I'm going to come out 10. Okay, that's purposely a smaller amount than the cube is wide, but it's going to help in the transition. I'm going to click on that again. This time we come out 20, and we just rinse and repeat. So I'm going to pick this top face here, do the ball for the extrude, 10. Again, this is a transition. I'm going to click on that. This time we're going up 20. All right, and the third direction, we're almost there. I'm going to click on there, and this will be -10 because the gumball happens to be facing the other way. And again, everyone knows what's going to happen here, -20. Now, when I hit the tab key to switch to smooth mode, you will be a little surprised. So let's do that right now. Oh, it's kind of weird and rounded everywhere. But that's the very nature of sub-Ds. However, they are super flexible. So what we can do is just delete these faces just by using Control-Shift-Click, Control-Shift-Click, hitting delete. Those can be added and subtracted anytime, and it's a very powerful and flexible system where you don't have to really plan ahead all the time. We'll hit Tab one more time, and look at that. So I think this is a little bit more under control. And if you want to, you can move things around. If you do make twists or tweaks, I recommend you go into box mode. It's easier to grab all of the various sub-object elements. As we talked about, you can pick a vertex by Control-Shift-clicking. You can pick an edge, or you can pick a whole face or multiple faces. So we have lots of options to push, pull, and extrude around. So let's go back to the overview. So there you have it. There is 2 different ways in sub-Ds to create a 3-pipe elbow, simply, cleanly, and with continuing to make edits. So I talked about how this sub-D process lets you make continuous edits. Let's try that. So for example, we can double-click on this, and we go around in a ring, and we can scale that down. We can grab this, this edge here and just pull that out. So in box mode, it might be easier, but in smooth mode, you can see that this would allow you to push and pull as much as you wanted. So give it a try. The commands are pretty easy. As you just saw, there's a whole host of tools. Even though they're a little overwhelming, a little bit scary, I only use like 10 or 12 of them, so I can get most of my work done, so give it a try. So that's it for this video. I hope you learned a little bit about sub-Ds and are not quite as scared. There's always a couple of ways to do it, and it's very friendly and flexible and impossible to break. So that's it for me. Peace and 3D.